Have you got it? Oh, no, wait. Can I try it before I buy it?
Go on, try another one. Just one more and then you're done.
No, this is too much for me.
Are you ready for the most powerful XR platform on the planet?
So as you have seen, that's Hololight Hub. That's the most global and scalable streaming platform provided by Hololight and our streaming technology. And why this thing is so good that we already ran out of meeting rooms and are doing the meetings now in the garage, you will understand after our talk. But first things first, why would you need this? Why are we doing this? We are now around since 2015. And to be honest, we've probably done and seen every prototype, every POC, every test case you can imagine. And it's always the same things we come around in the industry. First of all, the devices, they don't have that much power. We are used and we want to have this AAA games experience. We want shiny things. We want our details. But then we come around with a mobile device wearing on our head. You can't really get a good GPU in there, unfortunately. So what are you doing about that? You can prepare your data. You can make the low poly content, but as long as you don't produce exactly this car, not really the way you want to work, probably. And even in this model, all the interiors, the engines, it's not in there anymore. That's just the frame around. So what else? Even here, you need to prepare your data. And we probably all know this guy in our company. Sitting for hours in front of your PC, waiting for the loading and process to be done. In the end, it doesn't even work. It sucks. But what are we doing about that, Philipp?
So yeah, in the end, we just heard like the devices are too slow, so we need to process our data. Also, a lot of enterprises say they are too unsecure to put the data on. But what the devices are really good at is showing the data. So we do exactly that. We only show the data there and don't do anything else on the devices. So instead of putting the stuff on the devices, we put it on powerful servers and stream it. And what's really interesting is here you see the same data set. And the funny thing is, on the left side, there is a lot of work involved. You need to reduce it, you need to process it, to get it somehow on the device, to get it rendered for this amazing experience you see on the left side. The other way you can do is, you can just use a powerful machine. You can use streaming, and then you get the result on the right side. You just use the actual data, put it in there, and it works. It works performant, it works secure, and it works scalable. And this is really pictures taken out of a HoloLens in this case. And I think we also want to show you, we have a video where there is a comparison. And the first interesting thing you will notice is, it's incredibly slow to load a file already if you process it down, right? It's still slow. You probably all know this. It takes a while. You're getting to a customer and it's like, you can save so much time after you waited 20 minutes for it to come up. And here you see the huge quality difference. On the left side, you still see it's still stuttering. So we did our best to get it still good looking, but no cable is round, everything is edgy. This is not something you can use to compare physical prototypes to do your tasks. There's no chance of it. And also the experience is just bad. I mean, you all know lagging on those devices is not only like, you go a few frames down like on a computer. It's even more annoying because you get motion sick, it looks ugly, it takes you completely out of the experience, and it's not stable at all.
But that doesn't only work with CAD models. Of course, as you've seen in the videos, you can take basically any CAD model you already know, no matter if it's an engine or a whole turbine. You can even load the whole plane in there if you want to. But we can also use point cloud data. Why limit yourself to CAD data? People scan their environments, they scan their factories. We can upload the whole point clouds. That's perfectly fine. And if you want to go crazy, you can take the whole digital twin models out of NVIDIA Omniverse. Perfectly fine. You have the power of the server. Go ahead. And it's not just about the size of the data. It's also about the quality of the data. As said, you want to have the AAA gaming experience? We can do this. And we brought a video today which is real footage out of the devices itself. So it's not polished, nothing done afterwards, even though you probably won't believe me right now already.
Let's go! Life's like a movie. Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie. Lights, camera, action. DJ, turn it up, it's the new classic. Life's like a movie. Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie. Lights, camera, action. Life's like a movie. Lights, camera.
So the exciting thing about streaming, to put it in as simple as possible, with streaming, we exchange whatever processor is in your device by an RTX 4090 with an i9. That's what it does in the end. But let's look how this works exactly, right? So first of all, as I already told you, like the stuff on the device is too slow to use, so we don't use it. So instead, we send all sensor input of the device up to the hub, to our XR platform, so it gets processed there instead of the device. This is also where the application runs. What is cool, because usually your data is not on some mobile devices, and you most of the time also don't want to have it on mobile devices. You want to have it securely stored in your cloud, where also your PLM systems are. And that's where Hub directly interfaces in, so your data is already there. You just connect in there with your new display. And then, after your app is executed, whatever is coming out of it, we put back on a device, and we do some reprojection and prediction algorithm to make the whole experience stable and without any latency. And that is insane cool, because it's not only about having big models. As you just saw, we can do full ray tracing, like basically everything you know from a modern video game on a mobile Quest device, just needing Wi-Fi. We can do complex simulations. We can do Omniverse ray tracing, right? Which needs the performance of 2 6000 ADA cards on these small mobile devices like a Quest, like a DigiLens, whatever you want to use, like a Magic Leap, and you will have this amazing experience in XR. And of course, this sounds too good to be true. And we brought you some examples where people leverage this technology out of different reasons and in a lot of different use cases. And the first one is very special. This is public information. You can find it on the internet. That's why I know I'm allowed to talk about it. It's with Lockheed Martin and Verizon. So I already told this data storage is a huge issue. Imagine going to a defense company like Lockheed Martin and telling them, you want to repair your fighters in the field? Oh yeah, no problem. Put the CAD data of a F-35 on a mobile device. Good luck telling them that. That will in no way ever happen. By the way, I'm not even allowed to go in their facility, so I'm quite sure it's not allowed to bring anything out of it. But with streaming, there is no data on it. We still have now the issue of, well, you can attack the connection, right? Where on the one hand side, you think, yeah, but first of all, even if you manage to be the best hacker and crack the connection, you only get a picture. You never get the real data because that real data sits on the server. So good luck breaking in their facility. But to also make it even more secure, we use 5G, which is why Verizon comes into the play. So with this whole system of streaming everything over 5G, it's very secure because you can, if you lose a SIM card, you can immediately shut it down. So if you lose a device, it's very sad because they're still very expensive. But you don't lose any data, you don't have a data breach, and you don't care about anything. The SIM card gets deactivated and can never have access ever again to anything. And since no data was on there, you cannot get the data out of it. And it goes even so forth. Even if you would have a hardware attacking mechanism, well, the data was not there, so good luck. You can read the processor, but there's nothing in. So That's what makes it so incredibly secure. And then also 5G helps, of course, to be in the field, to be outside, have a lot of devices, a lot of people working with it seamlessly, and giving us this huge performance there.
So speaking about security, guess that's a lot of difference for a lot of different customers. Can we adapt to this?
Yes, of course. Like as already said, it's so important from the security side to not send data around ever. Because I don't know, probably all of you already encountered this with customers where you're like, yeah, we do encrypt it and make it secure, and they're just like, yeah, we're still not allowed to do it. And this is where we just then went into, okay, we don't send it ever. It stays always only on the server, and that's also why a lot of customers go into streaming and use the streaming platform to scale, just out of this reason already. Going to a next example, the LNS group. There also big data was a big thing, like they cannot use their data on the mobile devices. But let's first start what they want to do with XR. They build heavy machinery and they are globally operating. So their issue is like, well, you cannot really send the machinery around to get checks, so they flew everybody in, which is also ridiculous and very expensive. So what they now do is with XR, they can do collaborative design meetings around the globe collaborating. And again, here also comes the data security aspect, because you might even want to do it with a customer and showcase them the data, but you don't want to give them the 3D files before they paid, right? So that's another way. You don't have to make them travel. They can review it. You can go through this whole thing together and test it out, right? Without traveling, without hesitation. It's as easy as a Teams meeting, just for prototypes.
But if I have everything on my own server, how can I deal with the global part here?
So we can work on any infrastructure. It doesn't matter if it's cloud or on-prem. So what they do is they use local servers, but they also leverage public clouds. So it all fluently goes together, and then the people internally can use their local servers. If you have external people, they can log in and hop in the cloud, and then everything is handled from there, and you can fluently work with this. Which is to a lot of customers very, very important, because for some use cases, they can mark the data as, oh, this cannot go off-prem, so it stays on the local server, but still want to leverage the cloud if they're in the field and need to use, for example, not that highly classified data, and they still want to work together. And also, one important thing about this is you don't have only one XR use case, do you? So, but you want to only manage one system, so it has to fit everything. Because you can say, okay, for my very secure data, I use my on-prem system. But for the remote maintenance use case, well, I need the connectivity, so I use cloud. And this is one system which can handle both. And yeah, the last one, we're a company out of Munich, so of course we have to show what we do with BMW, right? So with BMW, this was one of the first customers we worked together, and it continued growing. So what they do is they do, in general, design reviews. And you can imagine, funnily, they are sometimes even more hesitant with the data than like defense companies, because it's the new car nobody has seen now. So they are working on cars coming out in 2 to 3 years. And they use XR for prototyping, because you can fit prototypes and can test prototypes without building them, which doesn't mean you don't build any prototypes anymore. But it means you build like half of it only, which already saves tremendous amount of resources and money. But for them, of course, also, it's very important that you cannot reduce the data, because if you reduce the data, at some point you get close to building a prototype in how long it takes. Secondly, it doesn't reflect your data anymore. I mean, if the tire works in there and how it looks like, and it's like not round anymore, or you try if the door looks, and if the door works, and then like you have everywhere edges with a variance of like 5 millimeters, that doesn't help you anything anymore. So that's why they need to have the original real CAD data, which of course needs a lot of power. I mean, that's why CAD workstations are expensive. And with streaming, we can use the CAD workstation to render in the XR glass and bring those worlds together.
I see on the pictures they are using quite some HoloLenses. Can they also switch to new devices?
Yeah, in the end, it doesn't matter. That's another cool aspect, right? So I already explained, we don't use anything of the device except the displaying quality. We don't use the processing power. We don't really use the OS. So you just have a thin client on there. The applications run on hub. We just connect in there. So you can fluently switch between devices. So if you come by our demo, you can even ask, they can live exchange devices. So you can start in a HoloLens, you can disconnect, you can go in a Magic Leap, and you can continue to work. And that is for our customers very important because we talk a lot about collaboration, and I think we can agree that collaboration is one of the most important use cases in spatial. And, well, you can control your own environment, but you cannot control the environment of people you want to collaborate with. And if I tell them, like, oh, unlucky, you have HoloLenses, we use Magic Leap, so can you please pay $3.5K for a new device for our meeting to happen? That won't happen. So we need to be able to use the same applications, the same environments, and bring in people with any variety of devices, and we make it possible.
I think we also brought something for that question also, so didn't ask it out of nowhere. So that's basically the lineup of all the different devices currently supported, plus the Apple Vision Pro, which is coming soon. And one important thing to highlight, all these different approaches can work with each other cross-platform. So your colleague can jump in on his PC while you're working on a DigiLens and the next colleague uses his Meta Quest. That's perfectly fine. No matter which device you prefer, jump into the session, join your colleagues.
And guys, really notice there's PC on there. So
Yep.
you can interface with people in XR also using PCs because you might have people joining who don't own XR devices yet. I mean, a pity on them, they should buy some, we understand. But also you still don't want to put them out completely so they can join from PCs or iOS devices.
Exactly. So, and with all these opportunities and possibilities which we now have opened up with this technology, of course, the market and the world is way too big for just one player. So that's why we are really, really proud to announce our ISV partner program. We have the strongest XR app players already onboarded on our hub. To mention a few of them, Tactile and Frontline.io are also joining us currently on the Expo booth. Stop by us and also talk to them. But I can also show you Frontline.io, first one of the ISVs who's already onboarded. They also provided us a nice video to show you what they are doing.
Technicians receive accurate expert guidance through live video chat, image capture, and file sharing.
Tactile, who's also joining us, and I think a couple of the colleagues are also hiding in here. They also, of course, provided us with a video to show you how their solution looks like.
Have you, okay, you're looking for fuse F15?
Alright, check. Alright, let's make sure there's no paint.
And if you want to join our ISV program and also bring your solution to Hub, approach us, talk to us, and we will see how we can support you. But I think, Philipp?
Yeah, there's one last thing we want to show. There is a, I would say, bigger ISV we work with, which is very exciting. So we have a partnership with NVIDIA. With NVIDIA Omniverse, to be more specific right now, in this case, the cool thing is we not only support like your Unity applications, you can stream directly out of Omniverse. You have several ways to do this. You can just go in and get the USD files out and load them, but you can also use the USD Composer Omniverse own render engine to directly stream to any headset we support. And I think this is great because this gets down the barrier completely. If you already have Omniverse, you can just attach it and watch your Omniverse content in the same quality as you're used to on the PC on any XR device we support. One other thing to mention for the tech guys in here, what you just saw were roughly 100 million polygons on a mobile device.
So, to end, there is not much more to say. Stop by our booth, talk to our partners, talk to us, and contact us for any questions or just stop by.
Thank you so much.